Second photo.
How long will this take?
November 2011.
That'll take 4 hours.
Supposed to be.
Oh.
Read it, Keith. See what it says, Katie.
I can't read, you know, Bob.
Katie will read it to you.
I look a little bit short there.
Probably put sympathy on Mum and Dad.
They actually, you know,
This is what he wants to cross.
I have no control.
That's where he wants to cross.
What's it, Keith?
Come and sit here with me.
What was your first thought when you saw Quentin's first post?
I think the thing is I didn't see it until other people had already shot him down. So I saw his post and then I saw the people shooting him down, and my immediate reaction was to get my back up about that, because it seemed pretty harsh that someone was keen about doing something and the responses he got were wholly negative. So that got me on his side straight away.
Come and sit down and watch this.
Well, I'm there.
After some discussion as to who would take on the job, we agreed to all the persons would fly up themselves. Dan Miller's group, most of the team had never met in person.
Came from all over Australia.
Here they come in.
Looking forward to meeting Quentin? Absolutely.
Of all the guys in the team, how many have you met before? In person?
That's you.
You come side by side to all the way to Brisbane to have a weekend, a non-climbing weekend with a bunch of people from there.
It's internet dating, really. There's no way of avoiding it. That's what we're doing.
Oh, yeah, Stuart, Steve, no problem. How's it going, mate? Thanks for coming and getting it. No problem.
Thursday, Clinton, at Kangaroo Point, he was actually doing his abseiling course that he talks about on Chockstone. Ecstatic that he was there, playing around on the cliff.
Tell us about Quentin.
Well, Quentin, I reckon, is possibly one of the more adventurous people I've ever met. He's really dreaming towards the boundary of his capabilities, and he's trying to live out those dreams.
And what does Quentin suffer from?
I believe it's Asperger's. Yeah, he's a clearly clever bloke. Yeah, like it kind of takes a while to get his ideas across. You have to think and mull things over a bit. So quite often, yeah, you know that he's thinking about something. It takes him a while to get it out.
Oh my glasses. I don't wear my glasses.
Beautiful sunny Queensland. Good to meet you, mate. I'm Simon.
Clinton seemed beautiful, mate. What a gentle bloke he seemed. He was lovely. He had a soft little touch. His mum's praying for us. He's part of the Anglican church.
On the Friday when we showed up, it was just bucketing down, and it really seemed, we were talking about whether or not we were going to go ahead with the kissing rain.
mate. Hopefully the weather will be a bit better tomorrow.
You can tell how wet it was. We were all. I was absolutely soaked. It was February, Dad. It wasn't cold.
And when you got here and saw all the equipment that Phil had, tell us a bit about Phil and his equipment.
Yeah, so Phil's a bit famous. I've actually heard other Queenslanders telling me that Phil has at least one, but probably two, of every item of climbing gear ever manufactured.
Cooper?
So this is only a small collection of your gear, a small collection. So it wasn't like you bought everything with you, just the things you thought we'd need.
But even then, I was fairly impressed that he seemed to have filled up half the back of a Land Cruiser with just crap, like ropes and bits of gear that you've never even seen, and you can't imagine what they do.
I'm trying to tape this for YouTube, and you're.
What's that sort of vicious looking thing there?
I like the look of it, so I bought it. Hey, my name's not Gordy. I thought I might use it one day. Because it took up a little bit of aid climbing. I figured that I might be able to like jam that on top of a ledge and that, and it should be like just, you know, just hang on maybe. Never used it though.
And there was, yeah, and these hooks too, I've never seen.
And yeah, these come from piker. They're piker hooks. But I figured like if ever I find a hole with, you know, looks like a big arm or something like that, it'd just be perfect.
But yeah, in the end, I mean, that was great. It meant that, yeah, we had the gear to do the tyrolean and make it really good because Phil brought it and had it organised. And so when we woke up on Saturday morning and it wasn't raining, we just sort of...
Can you hold that? It's my show.
We should
Oh no.
go. So we kind of piled in the car and left Simon behind because he was dragging his ass.
Thanks, mate.
And
Leave your cameraman behind, yeah?
yeah, well, it's like the Alpine mentality to trolling. When you get a weather window, you just fucking go. You don't shit around and waiting around at the house. Yeah, no, so we just did like 3 or 4 ferry loads and just made this mountain of gear that Phil had brought. And then, yeah, he started directing us and we all grabbed a bit of something and assembled it and, yeah.
How much rope you got there, Phil?
200 metres of 10 mil, static. That should get us over.
Is everything under control?
Seems to be. The twig's going to help me rig over there. So. Yep. Probably just do retirement.
How's it going, Clint?
Good.
What do you got in the pack?
Swings.
Swings? You'll need a few of them.
So, Steve, tell us the plan here.
Hold this screw, force that to the floor, pull some ropes over.
Well, initially I tried to throw a rope across, but that didn't work too well, so I used a fishing rod and cast the fishing rod across, and Dan retrieved the other end, at which point I cut my end and tied it onto a string.
So no dramas getting the line across, bro? Yeah, they did it, Katie. And then as you were assembling it, a few people turned up?
Yeah, well, I think we were at it for half an hour before the first person turned up, and then there were a few people walking around and they started taking an interest and stopping and looking, and then a helicopter showed up. And yeah, before long we had about 50 people standing and watching.
And tell us about the surf lifesavers.
I didn't have to deal with them, but yeah, like once the chopper showed up, we knew we were going to get a little bit of official attention, and the surf lifesaving guys ran out there. There were a big crew of them, and they didn't know what was going on. And I was just watching it develop from the other side of the gorge and thinking like, yeah, great, you know, they're going to shut us down. But apparently Phil did a bit of fast talking and got them on side.
Going down and plucking something out of the
Yeah, they were really cool with it and they just let us do it.
And the sea was pretty wide. Yeah, but it didn't seem to deter those guys from having a dip.
Yeah, I was a bit horrified.
They're the surf lifesavers.
You watch the light away.
You used to ride those waves, Dad, when I was a kid.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't have gone into that fucking water if you paid me. Like, it was bullshit. It was all foam. There was more foam than water. And then, yeah, there were a bunch of
So where did they get
underage
out?
girls in bikinis who showed up.
So it just got weirder and weirder.
Yeah, it started getting pretty bizarre.
Oh, they got out.
Okay, is the road gone over?
Yep. They got it for my report. And that's big different. I shouldn't.
The beauty of it is that we had these ideas that we were going to do all this under the radar. And by the end we had a helicopter and like 2 jet skis out, like lifesavers on jet skis out the front, and about 50 people standing and watching, and yeah, it was about as far from under the radar as it's possible to get.
Obviously, yeah, you needed a guinea pig beforehand, needed a few test runs. What was the procedure there before Clinton jumped on?
Steve was super keen. He went first, and yeah, it's that thing. Once you've seen someone else do it and they don't get splattered to bits on the rocks, you figure that it's all right for you to go.
Clayton, when did you become interested in swings and tyroleans and abseiling? How long ago?
Couple of ideas.
So how long has it been a dream of yours to do the tyrolean across this gorge?
Now tell us about Clinton's moment of truth.
Yeah, I mean, a big unknown in coming up here is that no one was really sure if Clinton was gonna freak out on the day, because he'd had a few setbacks with his abseiling where he was, you know, he got quite scared on one of the abseils and wasn't able to do it. So, and I mean, I've been climbing for a little while and I've done some reasonably big exposed climbing, and I still thought that this tyrolean was a little bit out there, you know, like it's a little bit nervy when you go out, because it's just, you know, 30 metres above pounding surf going across this zone. So for someone of Clinton's level of experience, it is clearly the most extreme thing he's ever done by about 3 orders of magnitude. So yeah, it was quite reasonable to, you know, we were worried that he might not be up for it, that he might, you know, sort of back out, which, you know, totally reasonable thing for him to do. I'd spent a long time trying to get Clint to abseil over the cliffs at Kangaroo Point, and in my experience, Clint going over the edge was a big hard part, and I just didn't think he was going to actually do it.
I think he'll run full.
You don't watch it.
I'm watching it.
I'm on the road.
Some of that stuff was from my bag, Cooper.
What?
Some of that stuff was from my bag. Yeah, that
So we
little.
just jet
I
over.
think he'll run full.
Yeah. And then when you stop in the middle, grab the jumbo, just throw it on any rope, pick a rope, doesn't matter. And then what you're going to be doing is just hand over hand, like one hand on the jumbo, one hand on the rope, and you just put yourself across the end. Yep. Get over above the rock platform, right up the end when you're safe, and then you'll unfix the safety, and then actually step down side. Oh, he's been drilled. Please getting quick, mate. Another couple of goes, it'll be quicker than you. Alright. So how are you feeling about it? Yeah. Pretty tight? Your hat's going to stay on when you start going fast? That's it. Very good thing. So the only important thing, mate, only important thing, mate, I want you to keep your hands off the rope in front of the cord. Okay. Just hold on to this lot, and you'll be fine. So what do you, mate? You can put your hand on that log to get around it. That'll help, or put a foot on it. Put on the log like this. There you go. Yeah, that's it. You get a hand on it, just swing your legs around. What do you think, boys? I'm pretty impressed that you went that quick, eh? I thought you'd stick to do that. How was it, Clinton? Good. You like that? Yeah. Nice. I don't think that's been at the start. I saw that. Excellent work. What do you reckon, mate? All this crowd is showed up. Bloody start charging $50 a pop. We can pay for something. Maybe turn a profit. Moving across. We've got half a day left.
Alright, we'll go and start canvassing.
Yeah, right.
I think we should start charging people money to have a go at it. What do you reckon? Do you want to go around and we can make $1 out of it. And have insurance. And have insurance. So Clinton, see you, mate.
Thank you very much for Queensland.
It's been a pleasure, mate. Enjoyed it. You'd like me to be in more future trips with the Dream Team?
Oh, look, I don't want to speculate at this point in time. Yeah, I think Clint has this is a stepping stone. It's not a final destination for Clinton. He's already thinking about the next big one. And yeah, it's not just tyroleans. There's other versions of horizontal and diagonal rope sports that Clinton is interested in pursuing. So we'll have to see where it goes, see where his ambitions lie.